Today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. This is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
And we're recording this on Monday night.
We are on Memorial Day.
Yep. And so I had a good Memorial Day. The weather was great.
Mm-hmm. We got outside, did some yard work.
Yep. And I even trimmed some bushes for you,
Yay,
which is rare. But I did that. We just had some dinner with some folks from church and just got back.
Yep.
So we're reading this for you. It's our joy. This has been a blast to read. We're finishing Numbers.
Right. Last day today.
Yeah, been a pretty difficult book.
It's long. It's tedious. A lot of details.
It is deceptively long, and it goes back and forth. Sometimes it sounds like Leviticus, but there are a lot of familiar stories in here that children learn when they're growing up in church. Sunday school stories like Balaam and Balak and the spies.
Well,
not entering the land,
Moses speaking to the rock and hitting the rock.
Yeah. All those sorts of things. So they're right here. So anyway, we're going to finish it today.
Oh, the bronze serpent.
Bronze serpent, yep. We're going to finish it today. I think you'll be excited to finish it. Okay. And then this afternoon, or tomorrow afternoon, whatever, Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, we're going to put this out 3 o'clock. We're going to put out a special recap edition.
Right.
So be sure to catch that. So 2 episodes today. Okay. Numbers chapter 35. The Lord spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, "Command the people of Israel to give to the Levites some of the inheritance of the possession as cities for them to dwell in. And you shall give to the Levites pasture lands around the cities." So the Levites are kind of like the special tribe, and they need to be helped. And so they're given cities. It was like parsonages today.
Yeah, that's true. And chapter 34 had talked about dividing the land up for all the other tribes. So now 35 is going to talk about the Levites.
Yep. "And the cities shall be theirs to dwell in, and their pasture land shall be for their cattle, and for their livestock, and for all their beasts. The pasture lands of the cities which you shall give to Levites shall reach from the wall of the city outward 1,000 cubits all around. And you shall measure outside the city on the east 2,000 cubits, and on the south side 2,000 cubits, and on the west side 2,000 cubits, and on the north side 2,000 cubits, the city being in the middle. This shall belong to them as pasture land for their cities." So 2,000 cubits, about 3,000 feet, so about half a mile out, all the way around, is given for them to grow their crops.
"The cities that you give to the Levites shall be the 6 cities of refuge, where you shall permit the manslayer to flee, and in addition to them you shall give 42 cities. All the cities that you give to the Levites shall be 48, with their pasture lands. And as for the cities that you shall give from the possession of the people of Israel, from the larger tribes you shall take many, and from the smaller tribes you shall take few. Each in proportion to the inheritance that it inherits shall give of its cities to the Levites."
Okay, so they're given 48 cities, 6 of which are the cities of refuge. We're going to talk about here in verse 9. "And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, and say to them, When you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, then you shall select cities to be cities of refuge for you." And here's what that means: "That the manslayer who kills any person without intent may flee there." So it's a little bit like civil rights. They don't really have civil rights unless they get to the city of refuge. I mean, we think about that as all Americans have civil rights wherever we are. And here, particularly if you killed someone, right, mob violence might take up. But if you get to one of these cities, then mob violence can't kill you quickly. "The cities shall be for you a refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer may not die until he stands before the congregation for judgment. And the cities that you shall give shall be your cities of refuge. You shall give 3 cities beyond the Jordan, that is east of the Jordan, and 3 cities in the land of Canaan to be cities of refuge, that's to the west of Jordan. These 6 cities shall be for you refuge for the people of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that anyone who kills any person without intent may flee there." And so now we're going to talk more about what the cities of refuge mean, but really this is, in some regards, it's a picture of Christ. We can be refuge, we can take refuge in him and not die for our sins.
Okay, verse 16. "But if he struck him down with an iron object so that he died, he is a murderer. The murderer shall be put to death." So there's a distinction here between the manslayer who killed unintentionally and compared to the murderer. Verse 17, "And if he struck him down with a stone tool that could cause death and he died, he is a murderer. The murderer shall be put to death. Or if he struck him down with a wooden tool that could cause death and he died, he is a murderer. The murderer shall be put to death. The avenger of blood shall himself put the murderer to death.
Wow.
Wow.
That's different than today.
Yeah.
I think that's a good solution. I remember seeing this thing about the capital punishment and the people in the prison who are assigned to actually put people to death is very trauma-inducing for them. And so this would be maybe the best is to see that
someone who's motivated by wanting to get vengeance.
Yeah. It's still awful to think about, but it's the avenger who does it, not the state, not the city, not the country.
Wow. Verse 19, the avenger of blood shall himself put the murderer to death. When he meets him, he shall put him to death. And if he pushed him out of hatred or hurled something at him lying in wait so that he died, or in enmity struck him down with his hand so that he died, then he who struck the blow shall be put to death. He is a murderer. The avenger of blood shall put the murderer to death when he meets him.
But if he pushed him suddenly without enmity, or hurled anything at him without lying in wait, or used a stone that could cause death, and without seeing him, dropped it on him so that he died, though he was not his enemy, and did not seek his harm, so in other words, he didn't intentionally kill him, then the congregation shall judge between the manslayer and the avenger of blood in accordance with these rules. And the congregation shall rescue the manslayer from the hand of the avenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to his city of refuge to which he had fled, and he shall live in it until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the holy oil. But if the manslayer shall at any time go beyond the boundaries of his city of refuge to which he fled, then the avenger of blood finds him, and outside the boundaries of the city of refuge, and the avenger of blood kills the manslayer, he shall not be guilty of blood, for he must remain in his city of refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the manslayer may return to the land of his possession, and these things shall be for a statute and a rule for you throughout your generations in all your dwelling places. Right? So you got to exile to the city.
Right, got to stay there. Verse 30, if anyone kills a person, the murderer shall be put to death on the evidence of witnesses, but no person shall be put to death on the testimony of one witness. I'm just struck here. This is really trying to set up a judicial system that is fair, and people get a trial, and Anyway, so verse 31, moreover, you shall accept no ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of death, but he shall be put to death. And you shall accept no ransom for him who has fled to his city of refuge, that he may return to dwell in the land before the death of the high priest.
That is justice. Like money can't buy your way out of justice.
You shall not pollute the land in which you live, for blood pollutes the land, and no atonement can be made for the land for the blood that is shed in it, except by the blood of the one who shed it. You shall not defile the land in which you live, in the midst of which I dwell, for I, the Lord, dwell in the midst of the people of Israel.
So chapter 35 speaks about the cities of refuge. 48 cities given to Levites, 6 of them are cities of refuge. And we'll find out in Joshua the names of these cities are Kadesh, Shechem, and Hebron. And then Bezer, Ramoth, and Golan are the names of these cities as they are established. 3 on one side of the Jordan and 3 on the other. Okay, chapter 36, we come up to Zelophehad's daughters again. And you were commenting about how amazing it is.
Yeah, that they are mentioned 3 times. So they were mentioned in the census in chapter 26. Like all 6 of them are named. I think it's 6, right? Or 5?
I think so, 5 or 6.
And then in 27, they're mentioned quite a bit. And then here again in 36. Yeah. Like this one family.
And you're commenting that Noah's wife wasn't even named.
Yeah,
we don't know her name.
So, yeah.
But Zelophehad's daughters
are all named.
And
one of them is Noah.
Yep, just because they didn't have a boy in their family, it was all about the inheritance.
Right.
Then the heads of the fathers' houses of the clan of the people of Gilead, the son of Machir, son of Manasseh, from the clans of the people of Joseph, came near and spoke before Moses and before the chiefs, the heads of the fathers' houses of the people of Israel. They said, the Lord commanded my Lord to give the land for inheritance by lot to the people of Israel, and my Lord was commanded by the Lord to give the inheritance of Zelophehad, our brother, to his daughters. But if they are married to any of the sons of the other tribes of the people of Israel, then the inheritance will be taken from the inheritance of our fathers and added to the inheritance of the tribe which they marry. So it will be taken away from the lot of our inheritance. And when the Jubilee of the people of Israel comes, then the inheritance will be added to the inheritance of the tribes into which they marry, and the inheritance will be taken from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers.
Verse 5, and Moses commanded the people of Israel according to the word of the Lord, saying, the tribe of the people of Joseph is right. This is what the Lord commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry whom they think best.
Yeah, I love that. Whom they think best. That means that this wasn't like a signed marriage back in those days. Marry the one they fall in love with.
Right. But there's some criteria here. Only they shall marry within the clan of the tribe of their father. The inheritance of the people of Israel shall not be transferred from one tribe to another, for every one of the people of Israel shall hold on to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter who possesses an inheritance in any tribe of the people of Israel shall be wife to one of the clan of the tribe of her father, so that every one of the people of Israel may possess the inheritance of his fathers. So the land stays within the tribe.
Yep, so you got to marry within Manasseh.
Right. Verse 9, so no inheritance shall be transferred from one tribe to another, for each of the tribes of the people of Israel shall hold on to its own inheritance.
And here are their names. The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord commanded Moses. From Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, 5 daughters.
Okay.
One of them was Noah, right?
Yep.
You talked about how ironic that is. The daughters of Zelophehad were married to sons of their father's brothers. They were married into the clans of the people of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained in the tribe of their father's clan.
These are the commandments and the rules that the Lord commanded through Moses to the people of Israel in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho.
Thus ends
the end of the book of Numbers.
Okay, so be on the lookout later today for the
recap
special
edition.
recap edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, recap episode that we're going to have flying through the book of Numbers.
Yep, and then tomorrow we will start the book of Mark.
Yep.
Okay, it's because we're bouncing around.
Yep. Okay, we'll see you this afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.